Grunge would dominate the music scene in the early 90s, and one of the bands who was a frequent presence on MTV and on rock radio was Pearl Jam. Perhaps no video is more popular for the band than Jeremy from their debut album. Despite the song's dark subject matter and controversial video, it received heavy rotation on MTV and is still frequently played on rock radio, at least where I live, and is the band's most viewed video on YouTube. But whatever happened to the kid who starred in the video? Well, fame proved to be difficult to deal with, and he would find a different path in life. His life would be cut short due to a tragic accident, and that's what we're going to explore in today's video. To celebrate the video's 25th anniversary, Billboard magazine would write a pretty in-depth article on Trevor Wilson, the young actor who portrayed Jeremy in the music video. The publication would interview Mark Pellington, who directed the video for Pearl Jam, and Wilson's parents, who discuss a man who felt the same way about fame as the members of Pearl Jam did. The lyrics for the song would be inspired by a real-life event that happened at a Dallas school in 1991, when a boy who was bullied by kids at his school ended his life in front of his classmates. Director Mark Pellington would tell Billboard magazine that Wilson was sick when he sent in his audition tape, but despite this, he clinched the audition the second he walked in, recalling, "He was sick on his tape and he didn't play it like, oh, I'm all angsty. He was sitting there and I was looking at this audition tape and he was kind of dazed and numb and effed up. I found out later that he was sick, but he was so expressive in a non-histrionic way." Wilson's mother, Diane, would point to the fact that her son suffered from asthma, something that may have influenced how he acted and looked the day of the audition. Ironically, MTV rejected the first cut of the video because they didn't want any firearms shown in the video, much to the chagrin of the video's director and band. Wilson's mother, Diane, worked with people in show business while living in New York City. His mother was a chef well known to celebrities including director Ridley Scott, talk show host Phil Donahue, and actress Michelle Pfeiffer. Wilson would attend the Rudolf Steiner Waldorf School in Manhattan while spending his weekends at the Lee Strasberg Theater and Film Institute. It would be the 1986 film Stand By Me that got Wilson interested in acting, and one of Diane's clients who saw potential in her son and suggested he try acting classes. Wilson's father accompanied his son to the audition after reading about it in the back pages of Billboard magazine. His son had already done a few auditions for other projects, but that was about it. While he was waiting for his son to be called in, he overheard someone say, and I quote, "He has to have a good scream." So he pinched his son's leg until he let out a big scream and went over the lyrics of the song to help him better understand the character. Wilson got the audition, beating out 200 other applicants, and the original plan was not to feature Pearl Jam at all in the video, but director Mark Pellington decided against it after spending several days shooting the band in London. After the video shoot wrapped up, Wilson and his family went on vacation and relocated from New York to Los Angeles. By the time Wilson's family was now living in LA, Jeremy's video had premiered on MTV. They soon started to sense that something big was happening, with his father recalling to Billboard, "Once we moved there, he started getting all this fan mail, and he went on this radio talk show with Dr. Drew, and women were calling in and saying they'd like to take him to bed, just boxes and boxes of fan mail." Wilson soon became recognizable in a lot of places he went, with his father adding, after a few months of that attention, he kind of turned away, with his mother adding, "When you're famous like that, you don't know who your friends are and who likes you for being famous or for who you are." He was going to auditions and decided he just wanted to be a kid. He didn't want to act, she'd recall. His last public appearance he would make would happen at the 1993 MTV Video Music Awards with Pearl Jam, who won 4 awards that night, including for Jeremy, which took home Video of the Year. Wilson would join the band on stage to accept the award, with frontman Eddie Vedder adding, "Hey everybody, this is Trevor, he lives." Later that night, Vedder would take Wilson to a Los Angeles restaurant, where he sat across from Fleetwood Mac's Stevie Nicks and John Norris of MTV. Norris would recall that night, "I was talking to him, asking him about the video, was it hard to do? And he was shrugging, no, I think he was a bit overwhelmed by it all. But he was not a shy wallflower, he seemed okay, and Eddie was quite happy to introduce him to everybody." Norris would add that even Stevie Nicks was happy to chat with Wilson. But it was after his brush with fame that Wilson moved back to New York with his mom and forgot about pursuing acting. He would attend the very expensive and exclusive Dwight School, where he became friends with the Hilton sisters, enjoying the nightlife the city had to offer. According to his mother, who told Billboard, her son had a fascination with international politics, and after his high school years, he would study international relations at NYU while also studying abroad for half a year in Italy. The exchange in Italy later resulted in him pursuing a master's degree in Rome. As part of this program, he would land an internship with the United Nations in Egypt, where he worked on women's education and became a speechwriter for then-President Hosni Mubarak's wife. By the time he moved back home, he was now in his late 30s and doing some soul-searching of where his next journey in life would be. He would start a herbal tea business with his mom, he had started making his own mead with a friend, and contemplated going into IT, and also applied for a few jobs with the UN, hoping to land one in Myanmar, while also turning down an offer to be posted in Lebanon. It was during the time he vacationed in Puerto Rico in 2016 that he was staying with a friend of his mother's, and it would be his final vacation. He would spend a good deal of time hanging out at Ocean Park Beach. His mother would recall speaking to her son over the phone a week before his death, recalling how he nearly died after being carried by a wave down the coastline, telling Billboard, "I think he had a confidence because he rode that wave, and I think that made him feel like he could swim there. There were tons of drownings there, and I told him, Trevor, be careful. I can't tell you how many times I got knocked down." Then on August 3rd, a lifeguard would spot Trevor in trouble and tried to save him. The lifeguard and the EMS crew, who arrived shortly after, were able to pull him to shore but were unable to save him. The news of Trevor's death slowly made its way back home. Estranged from her ex at the time, Trevor's mother waited a month to tell her ex-husband about their son's passing. According to Billboard, he fell into a horrible depression about finding out the news about his son, attending therapy sessions to deal with the grief. His mother would tell Billboard, "I have to think it was his time to go no matter what." Passing that way was very peaceful, and he was doing what he loved and he was very happy, which to me is the most important thing. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe, and we'll see you again in Rock Culture Stories. Take care.